Alright, hey guys, so in the last video we were looking at just setting up a loop with these melody, chords, bass and drum parts. In this video I'm going to start with the chord track and just talk about some different things we can do with chords to make them more interesting and some different types of chords and things like that. So let's go ahead and jump into this chord track in the piano roll. And you can see I've still got everything snapping to C natural minor. We'll keep that on for now, but I may need to change it at some point. Alright, so if I see a chord, something like this, the first thing I want to do is start using some inversions. So right now, all of these triads have their root note on the bottom. And that kind of makes for a bit of some kind of clunky transitions between the chords, because they're always jumping up and down to get to those root notes. But a triad retains its harmonic identity. So for example, this chord here is an E flat major chord. And as long as I keep those three notes, it doesn't matter what order they're in. So the first thing I'm going to do here is take this note at the top, B flat, and bring it down here. This is still an E flat major chord because it's still a B flat. But now I get a much cleaner transition between these two chords here. That's going to sound a lot smoother. Alright, and now I'm going to this chord here. I wonder if I can do something different here too. Yeah, so I might bring this up. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Alright, let's hear that. Probably should solo it, but I am really liking the sound of that more. Okay, the next thing I'm going to look to do, before I do that, I will put solo on that, is I'm going to throw in some suspensions. All right, and a suspension can happen anytime you see that a note of the chord is going down by a step into the next chord, like this. Alright, and if I can do it on the middle note of the chord, that's usually probably going to work best. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to drag this across and then extend this note into the next chord. So it's suspended, which is going to create a bit of tension here, which is then going to be released as it falls onto the note that it's supposed to be, quote unquote. Let's hear that. Yeah, that's nice. Alright, and there's not really another good spot to do it here. This could potentially work. Let's try it. Yeah, except the problem there is I'm just extending that chord. Doesn't really create any tension. Alright, so yeah, no, it's just, I think that's probably the best place to put it. Alright, but now let's look at actually creating some different types of chords. Alright, so first of all, let's look at what the difference is between a minor and a major triad. So this here is a C minor chord. So you can see what I have is a C, an E flat, and a G. And you can see between the two notes at the bottom, I've got two notes in between that are not being played. Alright, so the distance between this note and this note is what we call a minor third. So it's I've skipped over one scale note, but if I was in the major key, that scale note would be here. So then there'd be 3 rows in between, as you can see. So this is now a major triad. So the top and the bottom notes, that relationship stays the same. So it's just this middle note that moves. So again, minor triad, major triad. But now I'm going to actually make it something else. So what I can do is I can change this note to either the second. So this is now the second note in this from the root, and this is called a sus2 chord, or I can go to the fourth, and this is a sus4 chord. But let's try the second. Let's see that. I kind of like that. Let's try this one. Now maybe I can suspend this. Alright, yeah, that's nice. Okay, and then I'm going to do one more thing. So we're going to try and put in a seventh somewhere in here. Alright, so let's maybe first of all look at doing it here. So I'm going to bring this back down the bottom. So I have, in my triad, I've got the first, the third, and the fifth. And if I add another third on top of that, I get a seventh, which is actually going to be this note here. So let's hear that. Nice. All right. So what's this got? B flat. I wonder. I've already got this note extending all the way through here. I wonder if I can just keep it going the whole time. Yeah. All right. So now I've made my chords a fair bit more interesting by doing all of that. I'm going to be able to do more with these later too. So I'm actually going to leave this video here, and in the next one we'll look at doing some more interesting stuff with the bass line and the melody part. I'll see you there.